Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Gorecom in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out important news. With us today, because we have big news to talk about, is Patrick Levasseur. He's president and CEO of Beauce Goldfields, trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the stock symbol BGF. For those new to the story, this is what you need to know. Beauce is very close to discovering where the gold from Canada's first placer gold rush came from. The company's flagship property is the Saint-Simon-les-Mines gold project in Quebec, and it's home to Canada's first gold rush that even predates the Yukon Klondike. A lot of people don't know that. The area that Beauce controls produced the largest gold nuggets in Canadian mining history, 50 ounces and 71 ounces. It holds the largest historical placer gold deposit in Eastern North America, and is a site of major commercial mining of placer gold in Quebec for about 100 years, from 1860 to 1960. Adding to the mystique of all this, they acquired by serendipity a treasure trove of exploration drill information from the last property operator that was thought to be long lost and ended up being found in the records of the local record keeper, and that led to 344 drill logs being viewed and used for exploration research to help guide the exploration. And what did that do? Well, here's the headline. Beauce Goldfields intersects visible gold in first drill program. Patrick, welcome back.
Thanks, George. Good to be back. And as you said, yeah, it's a property of many, many firsts. You know, as you quickly said, the first gold rush, some of the largest nuggets ever found in Eastern Canada came from that property. And I'm happy to pronounce that we have another historical first. What would that be? Well, you know, as a lot of my viewers know, shareholders, anybody and any new shareholders will be happy to know that, you know, for 150 years, this has always been a placer gold, let's say, story, for a better word, a placer gold story. And what we mean by placer, we're talking about, you know, gold grains, gold nuggets. And what we've been trying to find is the source. Where did those gold grains and nuggets from? So, right. What is the significant is that, you know, our drill project is ongoing, but we have you know, visible gold from a drill hole. So this confirms that there's gold at depth in the bedrock. So the structure is gold bearing. And that's important. That's a first. So there's no more argument that this came from far away. It says, no, we found a structure right there on our property in hard rock right there.
And these aren't assays. Usually what we hear about are assays, right?
Yeah.
But this is, so how should the market measure the importance of visible gold in layman's terms?
Well, in layman terms, as you said, yeah. I mean, it's not an assay. This is it's visual, it's physic. It can be measured by its size, and there was 2 grains actually. The one that made the nicest picture is the one that you see right there. And well, you know, visible gold, it just implies basically it's just the direct evidence that the system is gold bearing. Now, grades are to come. That has to be measured. I mean, because we're right in the middle of doing the drilling now. You know, drill cores have to be brought up. They have to be basically logged, split, sent to the lab. So we're going through all that. But I found this was important that had to be said that, you know, we're seeing visible gold. It just proves that we have gold in the system.
And it's in the first drill program.
In the first, yeah.
You're doing about 4,000 meters or so. And
4,000 meters. Yeah, 4,000 meters, very shallow depth holes, because if there is a source, well, we've proven also by our trenching that we recently announced a couple of months ago that, the gold structure is coming up to surface. So, you know, I don't have to
visualize all this, Patrick. You've got some images.
Yeah,
why don't you share those images with everybody so we start to visualize this, including the visible gold. Right, that'll be great to see.
Today's topic, you know, very nice gold grain. And what this implies, I mean, we don't know what this grade is, but of course, usually when you do see visible gold, it implies basically usually a very interesting grade. Now, are there gold particles within this drill core? That has to be seen, has to be built to the lab. But still, I mean, it's important. That's why.
devil's advocate here. We're looking at this image of visible gold. To the layman like me, and maybe some people watching at home, they're gonna say, that looks like a little speck. That's your visible gold, but that's obvious to the untrained eye. Well, why should investors put a lot of attention on something that looks pretty small to the non-geologist?
Well, first of all, let me say something about in the business is that when as investors often when you often hear reporting about it comes to, oh, we've drilled X grams per meter of gold, and most of the time gold is never visible. It just isn't. And but you could still get you get interesting assay results. It could be very economical, whatnot. But when you're seeing visible gold, that implies a lot. It means, look, there was a mechanism in there that was able to concentrate and make that speck, that grain, that nugget. So who knows how much gold is surrounding even this gold grain? We don't know. But usually it's a sign of, when you could say that you can have significant grades without seeing any visible gold, and now you're seeing visible gold.
And you had two of these?
Yes, in this one drill core, yes, in the same drill core, there was two of these, but this one made the better picture. But there was actually two grades, yes.
And to the layman, I'm going to ask a second question, because I'm sure people are thinking about it at home, which is it possible that you could just have one or two grains that are visible, one or two specks of visible gold, and I don't know, they just happen to be there and it doesn't mean anything? Or does those two specks being there, do those two visible gold being there imply that there's more around it because they just can't be orphans? Well,
exactly. I mean, one, it's if you see one, you see two, there's likely more. And also don't forget, just a reminder of just a reminder of a press release just a couple months ago at the beginning of summer, is that we did trenching. And most viewers probably see this image here. I'm moving with my mouse here.
Yep.
So just to give you, hole number 8 from where this visible gold came from was drilled approximately right around here, next to Saint Gustave Road, right underneath where there was the 1912 Saint Gustave Placer gold mine, and also right in the path where there was the dredging, 1960 dredging operation. Now, keep in mind that just about 50 meters north of that, in a trench, we found visible gold. We found gold grains in a bulk sampling in the trench here, and about 100 and over 100 something meters to the southwest. Again, 2 trenches here. We found these beautiful, and these are not small. These are very large gold grains, as you could see. Like 2 millimeters. They're 5 to 10 times bigger than the speck of grain that we're finding. And this is in bedrock, mind you. This is not placer gold. So what we did is that we did the trenching down to the bedrock, and then we bulk sampled the bedrock, and we got these nice gold grains. So now we did drilling at depth, and we got visible gold. So there's gold here at surface, there's gold here on the ground. So we're confirming that there's a system here that contains gold.
Is this a discovery?
Yes, it's a big discovery. Yeah, it's very important. It's the first time. Here, let me go back to this image here. Like I said before, all this was a placer story. The famous gold nuggets came from here. This is about almost 6 kilometers. The placer channel is over 6 kilometers long.
Right.
And that is known. There's even a historical placer deposit in place here at different places, 100,000 ounces or more. Now, the famous gold nuggets, the town of Saint-Simon-les-Mines is right over here. The famous gold nuggets were from the Giroux Creek, or the confluence of the Giroux Creek and the Gilbert River. This is where the big mega, this is where there's like 6 kilometers of tunneling underground, right around here. Now, we're not even there yet. I mean, of course, that'll be a drill target, but we're just not there yet. We concentrated basically where our trenching found gold. So we're basically following up on the trenching. So, we're drilling where we found the gold. So the visible gold was right here, right around where our trenching is, and it's around where there was a main activity of the dredging operation. Now note how significant this could potentially be.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask you. So,
Yeah.
explain what
So
was
people-
encountered that gives you this confidence. Explain why.
Well, yeah, here's the confidence that when we're talking about placer, there's always the ambiguity. It says, well, the gold traveled, it came from somewhere, and how do you know? Okay, let's just say the gold is from here. Let's just say, oh, sorry, I lost my mouse. Here it is. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So let's say gold traveled, and let's say this hypothetically that the source was somewhere around here where we're drilling. But keep in mind, from our old maps and the old drilling, the placer channel starts way over here in called the Rancis Road. It starts here. So it starts many kilometers, almost 2 kilometers away, the placer channel. And there's historical gold deposits right here from the old drilling, 20,000 ounces. So if we're finding gold underground in bedrock at depth, yet upstream, uphill, however you want to say it, upstream, uphill, it is upper elevation, there's placer gold showing here, that it implies this structure basically can continue on. So it also infers that, that there's likely a structure which follows all along the placer channel. And we're finding gold in just this little section zone right here.
So how does this alter the way you're going to do the rest of the drill program now?
Well, the research, basically what this is how we're doing is that we're sticking to shallow depth drilling. There was already a few holes that were done, long holes that crossed the property, and the whole thing is basically black shell with no gold in it. And the gold is basically encased in layers of black shell, and that's where basically you have volcanic rock heavily altered to quartz, especially when we find these nice bluish quartz. That's where the gold is in. So what we're doing now is that basically we found a structure that is gold bearing, and all we're doing now is that we're drilling as long as we can follow the structure. We can follow the structure going east, we can follow the structure going west, but we're going to keep following that structure.
And you're going to get, this is visible gold, but you actually are going to assay, right?
Of course, yes, we have to.
So what does the timing of the assays look like?
Well,
and based on what's happened, do you think you're going to increase the drill program beyond 4,000 meters?
Well, I'm telling you, when you find gold, that calls for often more drilling. You want to find more of it.
Yeah.
And so we haven't announced anything yet, but of course it looks really promising. Like I said, this property is huge. The placer channel is 6 kilometers wide, and it's inferring that there could be multiple sources along the 6 kilometer placer as it's being sort of demonstrated here. There's a placer deposit here. We're finding gold in the bedrock structure right here. Yet the placer channel starts upstream, up elevation over here. So it implies that there could be multiple sources to this placer, and we're drilling in but one of them in one zone.
I was going to say devil's advocate. The good thing is 6 kilometers is great, but the flip side of that is, where do you focus?
Well, you focus like what we're doing now. You start with once you grab hold of a structure, and our hypothesis is that the structure should pretty much follow, geologically. You follow it. You follow it with your drilling, and that's what's interesting. What we have to do.
Does the structure go deeper than the 34 meters of depth that you've reported?
Yeah. Basically, we're seeing incline. Basically, it sort of inclines, going towards, the south, basically southwest a bit. Is sort of the inclination, of course, with different bends, but that's where the structure. So it's a very.
Are you able to show us that on this map or any of these maps so we can?
No, I'm sorry, I don't have a map set up.
Okay.
You could sort of see it a bit here. Basically, is that there's a major fault line which we've talked about before. We detected through geophysics, and through our trenching. What indicates is that there are called splays. So, think of it as that basically because of the folding of the bedrock, so a long time ago, you probably had gold in different layers. There was, and then when there was a folding, the folding created basically fluidization, and the inclines maybe within the inclines, there was fluidization happens to basically some of the quartz veining, which allowed mineralization to occur. So what we're sort of seeing here that we saw at surface is that, we're seeing splays, and that is to be confirmed with the drilling, but that's what we sort of state in our press release, is that we seem to be drilling following these inclined structures.
What's the timing of the assays? Because I guess the assay is kind of going to.
Well, yeah, I mean, the drilling, we're drilling, most of the time we have 2 shifts going. We have 2 shifts and 1 geologist. So, yeah, and especially lately, it's been, we have a new drill rig, and we increased the diameter of the drill. We went from basically NQ to HQs, which is nice, big, to have big complete, to have complete logs and that. And also keep in mind, the fact that we drilled some visible gold can imply that, perhaps there could be a nuggety effect in there. So when that happens, you want bigger drill cores, to be able to assay and sample. That's sort of important.
If I can ask you, going back to in layman's terms, could you have gotten off to a better start? Like, I know you had a high degree of confidence going into all this, but did you even get surprised?
Well, yes.
By visible gold right away?
Well, look, it's drill hole number 8. We just started, and bang, we got visible gold. I mean, it's a great start. It's a great start, and it's a great start. As I said, and it's a start, and it's important because it's the first time. I'm telling you, even though this property has been known for 150 years, and it's probably one of the greatest gold anomalies in Eastern North America, because it's the only large placer deposit in Eastern North America.
Well, you're saying a lot there, because there's a lot of stuff going on in Labrador in those areas. So for you to be saying that, I mean, are you trying to? Will you be competing? Do you think you'll be competing with what's going on out in the Maritimes?
Well, it's hard to say competing, because each property it's unique, and we still yet to find out what Mother Nature has already put there for us. It's for us to find it. So whether I'm competing or not, I don't know yet. So that's that'd be another issue, another topic. But like I said, it's vindication, because it's the first time, it's the first important drill program, diamond drill program, because there's been plenty of overburden drilling to measure the placer deposit. So it's the first time which we're switching the story from going from placer to now to really hard rock. And we got our first basically evidence, our first firm evidence that there's gold at depth, that there's gold in the system, and which could lead basically to the source of where all this placer gold came from. And so no, I mean, it's for a first drill program, hitting gold right away in your first couple of holes, that's been pretty good, and we're talking about visible gold. Who knows what the assays will say?
What's the timing look like for the assays? Ballpark. I'm not actually for an exact time.
Yeah, well, because I haven't announced anything, I can't say it into this video. But but drill cores are logged, and they have been sent to the lab. Mind you, a lot of companies got well financed this year, because the market beginning of the year was great. And what that interprets is everybody's working, and the laboratory for us, it's ACT Labs. I mean, they're just swamped right now. So, I can't wait to start getting results. But drill cores, as they come up, they are being logged. And interesting sections, mineralized sections, are being split. They are being sent to the lab. And, I eagerly await some of these results.
Can I ask you the question this way? Typically, so now this isn't Beauce, but typically when a company's at this stage and sending, what can they expect timing wise?
Well, typically, it's sometimes it's the fact that we're a small team in that, and but things sent out, but there's probably I'd say almost like a month lag to get the results from the labs. Yeah.
All right, and look, it's August, so the great thing is, if results start coming back in September, that's probably a great time.
Yeah.
For all that to be happening. Last words to you, Patrick, because clearly you're going to be back on a lot because the drill program is ongoing. You've already found hole 8. You've already got visible gold. Assays are coming. How is your outlook for the rest of 2021?
Well, 2021, as I said, just finding this gold, I think changes. I'd say elevates, and if this property to a whole other level that it was before. Before, I think it was very, even though the placer can be considered a giant gold anomaly, we're always talking about placer. Now we've just changed that discussion. We're changing now. This is not hard rock. We've proven there's gold in that system, and it'll take drilling to find out how much gold and where is their concentration of this gold. But obviously, I mean, it validates the fact that drilling is the way to go now for this property.
Well, congratulations, because I know not a lot of people know. The people of Beauce know, that's for sure, and they're fantastic people.
Yeah.
How long you've been working? How are you been working to get here? That serendipitous find of the 344 drill logs, right? I mean,
that was great. I mean, that was great. I mean, it took a long time. Again, even though this property was known, the geology knowledge behind it was actually zippo. There was nothing in the government archives that said about it. It was all about overburden. It was all about placer gold. But what was going on underneath that placer deposit? What was the geology that was surrounding this historical placer gold deposit? Was unknown. So we had to start from scratch. We had to do geology. We had to do the geophysics. One thing led to another. The geology, the geophysics, the sampling that we did. The ball, and of course the trenches, and now the drilling.
And those 344 drill logs definitely helped.
Yeah, we're piecing it together. And the drilling, visible gold is wonderful. But another important thing about what this drilling is doing is that the drilling is going to provide hard data of what the structure is like underneath this placer deposit, or around this placer deposit. And it'll just increase our knowledge basically to try to narrow down where this placer gold came from, tenfold. You think that's what's important?
When if you just do the 4,000 meters, and we don't know if you're going to extend it, it sounds like you will, because you're seeing visible gold.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said earlier, you're going to drill.
That's a very modest, 4,000 is a very modest drill program.
Yeah.
Everybody's been announcing 20,000, 50,000 meters. But it took this basically to this was the test, and and we announced it that way. It's a test. We want to test the zone. We want to test certain structures, and those tests are coming up positive. We found the gold. We know now there's a structure there which is gold bearing, and most importantly, the drilling will tell us how to follow what's the morphology of the structure to better drill it and to make further discoveries.
Patrick, congratulations to you and the team on another great milestone. It just seems like you guys keep hitting milestones. And I think I speak on behalf of everyone who say, can't wait to have you back when the assays come in and get even, hopefully, more confirmation of, your thesis.
Can't wait to come back and tell you more. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Pat.
Thanks, George.
For everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, or your favorite podcast platform. To Patrick Levasseur, he's president and CEO of Beauce Goldfields, trades with venture in the stock symbol BGF. For those of you new to the story, because maybe you saw that headline, I mean, visible gold in a headline, specifically visible gold in first drill program, draw some attention. So if you're one of the new investors, 2 ways to do your due diligence. First, get over to the company's profile page on Agoracom, because we know this is geology. I mean, if this press release, if you read it, was highly technical. So the great thing is about the profile on Agoracom is we give it to you in layman's terms, so you can get a good 10,000-foot overview of Beauce. And then when you're ready to do your deep dive due diligence from there, link over to the company's website and do your deep dive due diligence. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great day. See you next time. Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and even leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel and never missing another great Agoracom small cap video.